My smart fridge exposed 10 years of paternity fraud, and I took everything. The fridge ratted us out. Not the neighbor, not a PI. Our stainless steel grocery boss with a calendar. One tap on its cheerful touchscreen, and 10 years of girls' nights lined up with call Dan after practice reminders and my wife's whisper. Camera thumbnails I didn't know existed. Timestamps that put her in a kitchen cuddle with not me while I was stuck in traffic buying almond milk. The dog blinked. The fridge hummed. My life recalculated. Hold that thought. This isn't a tragedy. It's a comedy with receipts. I took the house, custody, and her narrative, politely, because the best revenge is boring paperwork that lands on time. And yes, the DNA said exactly what the fridge implied. How did we get here? Rewind to the button I pressed because I was out of eggs and curiosity. A smart appliance was supposed to order groceries, not subpoena my marriage, but it did both, beautifully. Our perfect routine with a lying appliance. On paper, we were fine. Suburban grid, kid with a backpack that weighed more than the dog, me and coffee autopilot humming through breakfasts. I cooked. She scheduled. The house ran like a respectable spreadsheet. Thursdays were hers, girls' night, and I joked the fridge kept better attendance than I did. She loved that thing. Her splurge. My running gag. Yes, your frostiness. I'd say when it scolded me for buying lettuce twice. It synced our calendars, nagged us for milk, played lo-fi while I flipped pancakes. We let it run the kitchen like a petty manager with a badge. I called myself a tech genius because I could pair a Bluetooth speaker before caffeine. Truth. The fridge was smarter than me and more observant than both of us. It logged, it tagged, it politely asked if I wanted to reorder the exact yogurt she liked after spin. We were a brand partnership. Dad, mom, kid, Bean the dog, and Officer IceBox, our only honest roommate. The hairline crack started on Thursdays, always busy. Always eucalyptus body wash when she got in, long shower, tough class. I shrugged. People sweat, marriages commute. Then our kid mentioned Coach Dan like he was a cartoon. Big voice, bigger calves, always at Thursday practice. I laughed it off and kissed their forehead. Routine was our religion. Morning chaos, school drop, dinner at 6-ish. She'd float a last minute, I promised Jess we'd meet, always Thursday. The fridge chirped reminders I never set. Call Dan after practice. I thought it misheard Dad. I told the screen, it's DAD. It pulsed like it knew better. If you're waiting for drama, sorry. The world didn't explode. The coffee still brewed. The perfect routine just kept walking, right toward the stupid little button I'd press because I wanted to see what the fridge knew about eggs. Kid drops the accidental truth. It happened over cereal. Our kid squinted at me, spoon midair. Why does Coach Dan have my eyebrows? I performed a perfect spit take with air. What? They shrugged like it was a weather report. At practice, he makes faces like me, see? They arched both brows in synchronized disbelief. Nailed it. I laughed too loud. Genetics are weird. Inside, a tiny drummer started warming up. They kept going. Mom says he's funny. He calls her Thursday Captain. That's not a real team, right? My smile put on a uniform. Nope, totally not a team. Profile on Dan. Gym bro, league jerseys, motivational memes, neighbor-adjacent family friend with an emoji habit. He ran the rec league Thursday nights, which, sure, coincidentally overlapped with wine and women's empowerment every week. I rinsed bowls. The kid added the kicker, casual as clouds. The fridge talked to Mom about him. It said, call Dan after practice? And Mom whispered, not now. Then it beeped. They took their backpack and bounced. I stood in the kitchen like a suspect in front of a very shiny witness. I'd been teasing that fridge for months, our bossy rectangle that knew when we ran out of mustard and hope. Suddenly, it felt like the only adult who'd been paying attention. I tapped the screen. Family Hub. Voice history. A log pulled up like a polite snitch. Remind me to call Dan after practice. Her voice hushed. Timestamp. Thursday, 9:18 p.m. Another, add eucalyptus wash. Another, timer for 45 minutes, aligned with rec league wrap-up. Micro joke to myself. The fridge disagrees. I found a camera tab I didn't know existed. Internal view, sure. Eggs, yogurt, judgment, but also a front-facing thumbnail feature for the screensaver. Little squares of our kitchen when somebody waved for recipes. Thursday, 9:41 p.m. Two silhouettes, close, in our kitchen light. Not explicit, just enough to make your stomach read subtitles. I argued with the appliance. Play last reminder. It did. Her whisper again. The fridge offered to translate. I didn't need it. Curiosity beat denial the way gravity beats optimism. I exported logs to my phone like I was saving a playlist. I mapped Thursdays, league schedule, rainouts, girls' nights, receipts. The kid's question kept looping. Why does Coach Dan have my eyebrows? I told myself eyebrows are communal property. Then I caught the fridge asking, should I add almond milk for Saturday pancakes? And remembered the first time I made those pancakes while she slept in after a late night planning session. Bean thumped his tail. The fridge hummed. I exhaled. If the box was snitching, I was listening. Not to explode, to verify, to keep breakfasts normal while I pulled the thread. I patted the door like a badge. Thank you for your service, officer. The screen blinked back the weather. Thursday. Partly lies with a chance of recorded reminders. The fridge has receipts. I started where any reasonable person would. Menus I never use, and a settings icon I always ignore. Family Hub opened its polite little archive like a librarian with tea. Voice history. Play. Her whisper spilled out of stainless steel. Remind me to call Dan after practice. Timestamp Thursday, 9:18 p.m. Another clip. Order eucalyptus wash. Same night. The machine even showed the cloud icon. Saved, synced, blessed by metadata. I scrolled deeper. A transcription panel I swear I'd never seen offered keywords. Dan appeared like a gopher every Thursday. Timer 45. Playlist, motivation mix. Add almond milk. The pattern clicked so clean it squeaked. Practices ended. Motivation mixed. Almond milk reappeared like a chaperone with boundary issues. Then I found the camera section, not the inside the eggs guilt shots. A screensaver capture log. Tiny thumbnails pinged whenever someone waved for recipes or music. It grabbed the room like a doorbell cam that loved groceries. Thursday, 9:41 p.m. Her shoulder, his cap. Two outlines leaning into each other in our kitchen light. Next Thursday, same angle, different shirt, same gravity. Nothing obscene. Everything obvious. I argued with metal. Play Last Dan reminder. The fridge obeyed like a butler who'd gone to law school. The waveform bloomed, the timestamp stamped, the GPS tag said home. I exported the clips, the stills, the voice text to my phone like I was packing a parachute. Chain of custody by moron. Email, drive, backup on the tablet labeled movies because I'm not above camouflage. To be fair, because I'm that guy, I looked for false positives. Did it ever mishear dad as Dan? I searched dad. Hundreds of pancake reminders, spelling quiz timers, call dad Sunday. All me. Distinct vowels, clean as glass. I asked the fridge, who is Dan? It blinked a contact suggestion from our household accounts I didn't remember approving. Coach's number. Thursday practice. His emoji flexed at me like a misdemeanor. I checked notification history. The fridge had been pinging her phone with practice ended, call Dan, courtesy of a linked calendar she set up when she bought this aluminum detective. The device had receipts because it was literally designed to have receipts. Cloud voice logs, thumbnail captures, calendar echoes. And I, loyal pancake captain, had been nodding at the hum like it was white noise instead of testimony. Comedy break because I needed one. I asked, Bixby, are we out of fidelity? It didn't understand. Reasonable. Then it asked if I wanted to reorder trust. Tempting. I stood there, cataloging the quiet crimes of convenience. The fridge sent me the export bundle with a chirp that sounded smug. I mapped the timestamps over league schedules, rainouts, and her girls' night blocks. Rainout? Screensaver shows two people in our kitchen. Doubleheader? No screen captures. Of course. When he wasn't free, nobody waved at recipes. Bean tapped my shin and sneezed like punctuation. I patted his head and saluted the door. Officer IceBox, you're promoted. The screen flashed a shopping list. Almond milk, eucalyptus. I added, truth. Then I opened a new folder on my phone called Boring Revenge and put our future in it. One polite, undeniable clip at a time. Spiral of red flags, but make it funny. So I did what any calm adult with a snitching refrigerator would do. I opened Excel and pretended it was therapy. Thursdays went in one column, Dan's league schedule in another, and the weather, because rainouts are romantically efficient, right beside them. It lined up like a confession that could do algebra. League nights overlapped girls' night. Rainouts matched movie at home. Doubleheaders, silence in my kitchen, and coincidentally, fewer eucalyptus orders. Uber receipts started winking at me. Drop-off, gym side bar and grill, 11:07 p.m. Cute name for a moral failing. Meanwhile, my bank showed charges at a boutique for a body wash that smells like an expensive koala. I don't begrudge hygiene. I just never saw eucalyptus happen on a Tuesday. Her stories got bold and wrong, like improv without a suggestion. Last week was, we did pottery. Cool. The bar's Instagram posted the sluggers. Hi, Dan. Holding a trophy that same night. The skew got artistic. Traffic was insane, while the map said, 6 minutes, babe. I didn't yell. I adopted a new religion. The fridge disagrees. Anytime a lie tripped in our house, I'd sip water and muse. Huh, the fridge disagrees. The dog started wagging on cue. Geotags did what geotags do. Her photos, supposedly at Jess's, carried the gym's tiny location badge like a tattletale sticker. Receipts wore timestamps that cuddled the fridge's voice logs. 45-minute timer? $46 appetizer bill. Dan's team posted boomerangs at O'Malley's. Our calendar said, Women's Circle? Maybe the circle had beer specials. I got petty with precision. I cross-referenced practice end times with the fridge's happy little nudges. Practice ended. Call Dan? If I had any lingering romance left for technology, it was gone. The software was better at marriage counseling than we were. I asked the fridge to add almond milk. It said, again? Passive-aggressive. Fair. Then the rainout pattern smacked me. 3 separate storms, 3 separate Thursday movie nights, 3 separate screensaver thumbnails of 2 shapes reorganizing boundaries in my kitchen. I tried to rationalize. Maybe they were discussing casserole. Maybe casseroles require proximity. Bean looked at me like, Sir, right. The comedy kept trying to save me. I'd mutter to the stainless steel, if this is a misunderstanding, blink twice. It humored me by humming. I renamed our family hub profile Officer IceBox because if the house was going to police anything, it might as well run with it. I asked, Officer, your report? The screen offered me a shopping list and a forecast, cloudy with timestamps. Then came the messages that aged poorly. She told a friend, traffic wild, home soon, while my phone, connected to the same cloud, chirped with, playlist started, motivation mix. The playlist description literally says, no breaks, no excuses. Ma'am, even our dog's walk tracker got involved. Bean's Thursday loops were shorter because I was home alone doing bedtime. Meanwhile, her step count spikes matched rec league finals. If your Fitbit can testify, mine was under oath. I didn't want to blow up. I wanted a lab result. So I humor tested boundaries without saying a fair. Want me to grab you after practice? I texted. She replied, already riding with Jess. Jess posted from Denver 2 months ago. Geography disagrees. The fridge disagrees. Frankly, the zip code disagrees. Last nudge, a loyalty email from O'Malley's congratulating her on Gold Tier Thursdays. Gold Tier Thursdays. I laughed in the driveway until Bean looked concerned. So yes, the spiral was loud, but I kept it funny for one reason. Our kid. Pancakes still flipped. Spelling quizzes still happened. When she floated, we're doing trivia, I said. Great. Category, timestamps. She didn't laugh. The fridge beeped. Officer IceBox had already filed the paperwork. I was just filing my face into neutral. And in the center of the chaos, one clean sentence kept me steady. The fridge disagrees. Every time a story twisted, the calendar hummed the truth. The bank nodded, the weather clapped, and the thumbnails sighed. By the end of that week, I wasn't hunting drama. I was labeling it, quietly, accurately, with a little eucalyptus on the side. Quiet science project, verifying the big thing. So I did the opposite of dramatic. I made pancakes, packed lunches, and built a quiet lab out of clipboards and calm. No speeches, no midnight cross exams, just a dad doing a science project where the hypothesis was, let's not torch childhood while we fact check. Step 1, call a lawyer who sounds like a seatbelt. I booked a consult, led with, my fridge is a witness, and she didn't hang up. She said 3 words I could breathe through. Slow, quiet, methodical. Legal grade paternity testing, chain of custody, preserve every digital log. If the box is snitching, let it snitch into a PDF. I kept our routine laminated. Spelling quiz at breakfast. Jacket on the chair. Bean's leash in my back pocket. My kid never felt the temperature drop because jokes are handrails and bedtime stories don't care about metadata. I was Switzerland with syrup. The fridge's exports went into a folder named housekeeping. Screenshots, voice transcripts, screenshots of the transcripts, summaries of the screenshots. Because I'm that guy. I backed them to a boring cloud with a boring name and wrote a boring note. Timestamps, sources, no speculation. Courts love boring. Then I met the lawyer. Beige office, serious plants. I slid over the bundle like a sandwich I'd overbuilt. She skimmed, nodding at Officer IceBox's gumshoe work. You'll want a formal test, she said. Clinic swabs, witnessed, sealed, and keep living as you live. Status quo wins custody. Translation: stay normal, save everything, let the facts walk. I booked the lab for Friday. The confirmation email looked like a dentist appointment. Good. I added it too. A shared calendar labeled practical because we're done with vibes. I texted her, appointment Friday, 10:30, legal purposes. She typed back, okay. No emojis, good sign or empty battery. Either way, fine. Meanwhile, I organized money like a triage nurse. I froze the joint card at a lower limit, opened a dedicated account for kid things, and set alerts that scream at $20. Not punitive, preventative. Mozzarella sticks may be innocent. Hotel vitamins are not. I called the therapist my lawyer recommended, child specialist, calm voice. She gave me phrases that fit in a small mouth. Families are built lots of ways. Love is the job. Information doesn't change who tucks you in. We'll need an age-appropriate plan, I said. I wrote them on a sticky note like a script I intended to pass. Bean supervised everything by snoring. I built a binder, tabs for fridge, calendar, bank, weather, lab. It looked like a parent-teacher conference for my marriage. I added a cheat sheet for myself. No yelling, no guessing, only yes or no questions. If I got the urge to editorialize, I would go fold laundry. I told the fridge, play last reminder. It did. I told myself, keep breathing. I did. I asked the family hub to order eggs. It tried to sell me therapy, basically. I declined, already booked. Then came the micro conversation with her that didn't set anything on fire. I said, I'm scheduling a test to close the loop. We'll keep it clinical, quick, and offstage for the kid. She stared at the sink like it owed her a speech and said, okay. I nodded, not cruel. Thank you. We stood in the same kitchen, different countries, and loaded the dishwasher like diplomats. I pinged Mark, the mirror, not the enemy. Legal test Friday, I wrote. We'll handle this in writing. No contact with my kid until we have a plan with the therapist. Agree? He replied fast. Agree. Another text, softer. I'm sorry. Accepted, not cashed. In the margins, I did school drop-offs early so I could breathe before work. I explained none of it to Bean, who is terrible with confidentiality. I wrote one sentence a night in a notebook so my insides had somewhere to go. Today, the fridge disagreed. I didn't. Thursday slid by in polite daylight. She floated her routine, late class, and I said, calendar updated? She typed it in like an oath. Bean and I made grilled cheese, watched a cartoon, and pretended the world was only cheddar and credits. At 9, the fridge blinked a weather alert. I let it. Not every beep is a betrayal. By bedtime, the house felt oddly honest. Same walls, fewer ghosts. The lab appointment sat on the calendar like a cliff edge we'd already decided to walk down together, one careful step at a time. I tucked in my kid and used the script in my head. Love is the job. I don't miss shifts. The smoking gun recording. It happened by accident, like all the best plot twists. I was scrolling the Family Hub app on my phone, exporting, labeling, feeling very chain of custody chic, when I noticed a tiny mic icon next to one of the Thursday reminders. I tapped it, expecting the same whisper. Instead, the app offered a linked ambient capture. New phrase, new dread. For the record, she enabled the Hey Fridge, always listening feature during setup, consented to cloud storage, and linked her phone, which is why my lawyer said the capture was discoverable and admissible. I hit play. The kitchen came alive in grainy audio, the fridge hum, a cabinet thud, Bean's collar, then her voice, closer than any memory. He thinks the kid is his. No metaphor, no room to hope she meant the dog. Silence, like the house forgot how to breathe. Then his voice, the protein meme in Human. Babe, don't freak out. We've got this. Papers rustled. He added, with the confidence of a man who eats dumbbells. I can pick up extra shifts at the gym, protein and panic. She whispered, he's a good dad. He said, you're a good mom. Then he tried math. If we keep it quiet, nobody has to hurt. The sentence tripped over its own shoelaces and lay there wheezing. I didn't throw the phone. I didn't yell. I paused, rewound, listened again like an auditor. The metadata stacked. Timestamp, device ID, file hash. The fridge had captured a whisper that didn't belong to groceries. I saved it to 3 places and wrote a deadpan note. Content, admission, voices, her, him, tone, Delusional. Bean looked up at me. I said, "Officer IceBox did not need to go that hard." He sneezed, like, agreed. I sent the clip to my email, to a hard drive named Lamp, and to a folder called Blueberries, because if anyone was going to snoop, let them get a smoothie recipe instead. Then I transcribed it, word for word, commas where the air broke. A therapist would call that processing. I call it not setting the house on fire. Later, when the kitchen was empty and safe, I stood in front of the stainless face and said, "Play last ambient capture." The fridge obeyed with a beep that felt like a nod. Same whisper. Same panic promises. Same plan that aged like milk. I didn't need their apologies. I had their sentences. He tried to be heroic again on the recording. "If he finds out, I'll tell him I'll help. I'm not a bad guy." She exhaled a laugh that didn't survive. "You wear your wedding ring to my house," she said. "We are not good people." The fridge hummed like a judge. I texted my lawyer. "We have audio." She replied, "Back up. Don't confront yet. Metadata preserved?" I wrote back, "Baptized." She sent a thumbs up and the world's calmest smiley. I also booked myself a solo session with my therapist for the next morning, sanity before strategy, because calm doesn't happen by accident. Just to be sure, I checked the app permissions. The ambient setting was part of a Hey Fridge feature she'd enabled so it could catch commands without yelling. The manual calls it improved responsiveness. My lawyer calls it discoverable evidence. I call it the moment the comedy grew teeth. I listened once more because I needed to believe my ears over my fear. Her line, crisp and brutal. "He thinks the kid is his." Not was. Is. Present tense with a date stamp. Then the softest thing she ever said, almost swallowed. I wanted it to be true. It didn't help. It hurt right where love keeps spare batteries. I whispered to the room, "Okay." Not forgiveness. Permission to proceed. Screenshots and clips stacked like clean dishes. I made a short internal checklist. Voice logs, thumbnails, calendar overlaps, bank trail, weather map, and now the ambient confession. I wrote a label for the folder. Evidence, not entertainment. I refused to replay it for pain. I replayed it for proof. Then I let the humor back in. Because if you can't laugh at shattered assumptions while exporting WAV files from your refrigerator, what are we even doing? I tapped the mic icon and said, "Officer IceBox, please note I am both impressed and terrified." The assistant chimed, "Here are some recipes for icebox cake." Close enough. I texted Mark the facts. "We have you on audio. It's in the lawyer's hands. We stick to the plan." He replied, "Understood." No excuses, no emojis. Growth or survival. That night, I cooked something simple that didn't need knives. We ate in the quiet like athletes stretching before a marathon. She rinsed dishes without meeting my eyes. I didn't force it. I tucked the kid in with 2 pages, extra bad joke, standard forehead check. The script still works when the stage shakes. In the guest room, I pressed play once more, the way you press a bruise to see if it's healing. Same lines, same ghosts. I closed my eyes and pictured a courtroom where a stainless rectangle sits in a tiny chair, right hand raised. The stenographer coughs. The judge says, "State your name for the record." And the fridge replies, "Family Hub, Your Honor," also known as The Truth. I fell asleep in a house that finally spoke. And the next morning, I woke up not to vengeance, but to a to-do list. Backups verified, lawyer briefed, therapist booked, pancake mix stocked, bean at the door. Love is the job. We clock in on time. Surgical confrontation at the table. Dinner was tacos again because tortillas don't tempt dramatics. I plated 3, hid the knives back in the drawer, and put the printouts face down like coasters. She sat, eyes rimmed, voice light. Long day. I nodded. Eat first. We crunched in quiet. Kid talked volcano foam and Bean begged like he'd memorized my weak spots. After bedtime, I wiped the counter a 4th time and set my phone on the table beside the folder. Calm, not kind. We're walking through facts. She sensed the weather shift. What's all this? I tapped the stack once. The fridge's voice logs, the thumbnails, calendar overlaps, and the lab appointment. We're keeping this clinical and boring. She laughed a half laugh. This again? It's a glitch. I pressed play. Her whisper rolled out of Officer IceBox like a receipt printing. Remind me to call Dan after practice. Timestamp. Then the ambient clip I never wanted. He thinks the kid is his. She closed her eyes. Please. I held up a palm. No monologues. We'll do this in 3 steps. Log, picture, plan. I flipped the first page. Thursday reminders, clean transcript, cloud icon. Any dispute? She stared at her hands. No. Second, thumbnails. I slid the grid. 2 silhouettes, week after week, our kitchen light doing the stage work. Nothing obscene. Everything obvious. She tried the old dodge. We were just talking. Then the rainout pattern glared. She deflated. Okay. Third, plan. I slid the lab order. Legal test, Friday, 10:30. Therapist on deck. Shared calendar for everything. No improvisation. She reached across the table. I moved my hand to the chair back. Boundaries, not theatrics. She whispered sorry. I said the sentence I'd practiced. I believe you're sorry. I don't believe sorry fixes timestamps. She cycled the classics. Glitch, gaslight, guilt, like she was scrolling old playlists. I didn't chase any of them. The fridge disagrees, I said once, and let it hover. She tried tenderness. He doesn't matter. I'm here. I shook my head. He matters to the ledger. I'm here to the kid. Separate lanes. I pressed the screen, and the ambient confession replayed. Softer now, almost clinical. He thinks the kid is his. His reply about extra shifts and protein. Her, you're a good mom. I paused at the quiet after. That silence is the difference between us. I don't live there anymore. We moved to rules. No deleting texts, photos, or posts. Full transparency on schedules in the shared calendar. No new debt on joint accounts. Essential expenses only. No introducing our kid to anyone without the therapist's green light. She nodded, rapid, then slower, like her neck needed consent. I told her I'd already met with counsel. Slow, quiet, methodical. I'm not setting a trap. I'm building a bridge with guardrails. She breathed in like she might ask for a month. Don't, I said gently. Feelings aren't canceled. They just don't get to drive. She looked at the fridge like it had betrayed her. You're really going to use that? I shrugged. You bought it. You turned the mic on. You waved for recipes. It's not spying if the device said I'm listening in the setup screen. Also, the court likes metadata. She tried one last lane. You're a good dad. Don't throw away this family. I straightened the lab form. I'm not throwing anything. I'm refusing to keep lifting something you strapped to me. We went practical. I set out a pad and wrote, disclosures we owe. School, therapist, lawyers. She added, my mother. I said, keep it private. If someone needs details, direct them to me or to the sentence. We're handling a private family matter. She winced like I'd forbidden air. We both know the chorus out there. We also know the kid doesn't deserve to hear it through a bathroom door. She asked if I hated her. I answered the only truth I could trust. I don't have time to hate you. I have a kid to love and a list to finish. She nodded, small, like a person agreeing to drink water. I texted Mark in front of her, legal test Friday, no contact until therapist plan, everything in writing. He replied, understood. She saw the read receipt, flinched, but swallowed whatever speech she had loaded. I opened the cutlery drawer and took out 2 forks, set them down like truce flags. We're still a kitchen. We're just changing recipes. She almost laughed and didn't. Fair. Then I gave her the last boundary, the anchor. 1 lie from here and doors close. Not vengeance, logistics. She whispered, okay, I believe that one. Bean wandered in, sat between us, sighed. I scratched his head and looked at the stainless door. Thank you for your service, officer. The fridge glowed our grocery list like it had no idea what it had done. Maybe it didn't. Machines hum. People decide. I stacked the pages, held them steady with my palm, and said the ending aloud so the room could memorize it. We're done lying. Tomorrow we swap, we email, we schedule, we breathe. Then we make breakfast at the same time as always. Love is the job. I don't miss shifts. She nodded once, tears silent. The way weather finally admits it's raining. I turned out the light. The hum stayed. The hum was fine. The mirror meeting? Dan learns to read. Neutral coffee shop, neutral table, 2 waters I didn't touch. He walked in with gym posture and church eyes, wedding ring flashing like a warning label. We did the polite handshake humans do when they both want to be anywhere else. I led with facts because feelings flip tables. There's a legal paternity test Friday at 10:30. No contact with my kid until a therapist builds the plan. All communication goes through one shared email with timestamps. He nodded like a bobblehead that just learned gravity. He tried a line. This has to be a mistake. I slid my phone across the table. Cropped screenshot from Officer IceBox. Shared matches, first-degree flag, his name like a headline. He stared so hard I thought the pixels would confess for him. His jaw worked. Okay. He didn't ask how. He asked, "Does she know?" I said, "She does." He swallowed, then whispered, "Does my wife?" "Not yet. Today." I set ground rules like cones for a driving test. No parking near my kid's school. No DMs. No surprise meetings. No soft introductions at the park. We do this in the daylight with grown-ups. He said yes to everything like yes might sell time back. He tried to make me the enemy without meaning to. "I never wanted to blow up your life," I said. "You didn't. The truth did. My job is to keep the blast off the kid. Yours is to face your house." He picked at the cardboard sleeve on his cup. "I can help." I raised a hand. Responsibility before rights. Financial, not performative. You're not applying for a title. You're applying to be useful without making more mess. He nodded, smaller this time, like the gym finally found the right muscle. His phone lit with Ellie in all caps. He silenced it, then winced. "Answer on speaker," I said. Calm voice. He did. "Hey." She asked where he was. He lied by reflex. "Gym." Then stopped, looked at me, and corrected himself. "I'm at a coffee shop with," he used my name, "because there's a possibility I need to tell you now." The silence that followed could have iced a rink. I said nothing. He added, "I'll come home." She said one word, "Good," and hung up like a gavel. He stared at the table. "She's going to be done with me." "Maybe," I said. "Or maybe she'll be done with Thursdays. Either way, she gets truth." He nodded, took a breath that sounded like a brick lifting. We moved to logistics. I opened a draft email on my phone. Subject line Friday appointment. CC'd my lawyer and the therapist. Bullet points, not essays. Attachments, cropped proof, clinic details, ground rules. He read like a man studying for an exam he should not pass. He said, "I'll tell my boss I need time Friday." I said, "Bring an ID and a pen. We swab, we leave, we breathe." He tried a second apology, smaller, without costume. "I'm sorry for the grown-up mess landing in your kitchen." I let it land. "Apologies don't fix math," I said, "but they do pay first month's rent on being useful." He glanced at my wedding ring, then at his. I didn't flinch. He asked, "Is your kid okay?" I said, "They know pancakes happen on Saturdays. We're keeping it that way." He nodded like that was a religion he could try. Before we stood, I put the last cone on the field. "If you waver on the plan, I go louder. Court, orders, not vibes. If you follow it, we keep this boring." He held up both hands. Boring sounds like salvation. We walked out into a bright day that felt rude. At the curb, he paused. "Do I say anything to your kid if I see you?" "You won't see us until the plan says so," I said. "If you accidentally do, you say hi, like a neighbor, and keep your shoes moving." My phone buzzed as we split. A text from Ellie. "Is it true?" I typed back. "We're confirming Friday. I'm handling this calmly." "I'm sorry you're in it." She replied, "Thank you for not lying." Then, "He's coming home." Good. For clarity, she'd seen his Thursday leak photos, the gym check-ins, and, after my message, she opened their smart home app and pulled his doorbell and thermostat logs. Technology doesn't pick sides. It just stamps time. I sent the recap email to the thread. He replied within a minute. Received. Agreed. No emojis. Progress. Walking back to my car, I felt the oddest thing. Air. Not relief. Not victory. Just air. I had a mirror who could finally read a sentence without flexing. Officer IceBox didn't need to attend. We had adults, a plan, and a clock. I sat, set a reminder titled "Keep It Boring," and added one more note to myself. Love is the job. Plans keep it employed. The boring swabs and the loud email. The clinic smelled like printer paper and lemon. Perfect. We checked in under fluorescent honesty. Names, IDs, signatures that would end arguments. The receptionist had a voice that could talk a tornado into taking a seat. Initial here, and don't chew gum before your turn. Tempting, honestly. They took us in batches. Cold chairs, posters with smiling families who'd never argued with a fridge. The tech wore soft sneakers and competence. Open wide. Swab, seal, beep. Barcode kissed a form like a notary. Mark stared at the floor like it owed him money. Ellie squeezed his knee hard enough to register as a public safety measure. Lena studied the wall clock like it might confess. My turn. Swab, seal, beep. Do I get a sticker? Only if you don't spit on me. Fair. The tech logged chain of custody like a metronome. A tray slid away. The door swung. 5 minutes of work for 10 years of quiet wrong math. They brought my kid in separately. Therapist designed so no wires crossed in small heads. Calm voice. Q-tip diplomacy. Lollipop diplomacy. Cherry. They strutted out with the confidence of a tiny astronaut who completed a mission. I saluted. Bean wasn't allowed in, but he still tried to negotiate with the door. Denied. He filed a complaint with his eyes. At the desk, I kept it boring. Confirmed email. Asked 0 philosophical questions. We stepped into sun that felt loud. Parking lot goodbyes were clipped and civil. Friday, 10:30 is now Friday, done. I texted the shared thread, completed. We keep our lane. Waiting is a sport. I kept the household normal, the night shift of fatherhood, and turned down every emotional volume knob I could reach. Lunches labeled. Bedtime 2-pagers. Therapist Tuesday. I became a librarian with a whistle. On day 4, my phone pinged with the subject line that could stop a heart and clear a schedule. Results ready. I forwarded it to the thread before I opened it because daylight is my new hobby. Then I clicked. Numbers. Charts. Polite pronouns. Conclusion in a sentence that rang like a gavel. Probability of paternity. 99. 99%? Not me. I sat on the kitchen floor like the gravity increased by 1. Bean pressed his head to mine. You're relentless, I told him. He wagged like a timestamp. Another ping. Ellie. I saw it. Lena. Can we talk? Mark. I'm so sorry. I replied to the thread, not the flares. Confirmed. We follow the plan. We protect the kid. Full stop. I stood because dinner doesn't cancel for math. I chopped onions slower than grief. When Lena walked in, eyes swollen, voice held together with tape, she said, "It's real." I nodded. "It's math." She reached by habit. I moved by practice. Save the apologies for therapy. "You hate me." "I don't have time to hate you. I have a kid to love." I called the therapist's office. We advanced the disclosure session to Sunday. Beige room, tissues shaped like pyramids. The script is simple. Families are built lots of ways. Love is the job. Biology is information. Bedtime doesn't move. I printed it twice because panic makes people forget nouns. That night, I changed nothing. Dishes, homework audit, toothbrush song. I tucked my kid in and used the line we rehearsed in silence. I'm your dad in every way that counts. They squeezed my hand like the sentence fit their palm already. Obviously, they said. Bean snored across their feet like a furry seatbelt. I checked the calendar. Court consult, therapist, school, work, cemented. The fridge blinked our grocery list and for once didn't feel like a witness. It felt like an appliance. Progress. Before sleep, I wrote one sentence in the notebook so my chest didn't have to hold everything. Today, the country of denial closed. Customs stamped our passports. We came home anyway. Then I put the pen down, set the alarm, and let the house hum. Quiet is the victory you can hear. Calm revenge. Paper cuts and payback. Revenge sounded loud in my head for exactly 1 commute. Then my lawyer said the sexiest sentence I've ever heard. Let's let paperwork do the yelling. I switched from fire to forms. First stop, the prenup. Clause 12, small font, big teeth. Infidelity rebalances marital equity if proven by third-party evidence or admission. We had both. In our state, courts enforce infidelity clauses in prenups when there's third-party proof. The fridge logs, DNA, and audio checked every box. I didn't need a victory dance. I needed a title company appointment. I signed where the sticky flags told me, and the house slid to me like it had always wanted to live here without lies. The notary smelled like lavender and neutrality. I said thank you like I was checking out a library book. Custody, temporary first. Status quo is king, so we memorialized the life I already ran. Mornings, school, bedtime, the 1,000 small things. The order called it primary residential parent. My kid called it normal. The judge called it signed. Lena blinked hard and didn't argue. Boundaries aren't threats, they're seatbelts. Child support math flipped without theatrics. We ran the state calculator, boring, consistent, fair. My roof, my groceries, my calendar doing deadlifts. Mark asked if biology came with a subscription. It does. He set up a wage assignment like a man plugging in a lamp. Quiet, simple, on. Ellie watched him do it and did not blink. I liked her again, for the reversal. Tied to paternity fraud, the court took about 3 months to unwind and modify the old order. Slow gears, steady outcome. Retroactive reimbursement started after that on an even slower schedule. Paper isn't fast, it's final. Evidence packet day felt like show and tell for adults who respect file names. We submitted Officer IceBox's exports, the audio, the thumbnails, the overlapping calendar, bank logs, and weather. My lawyer stapled a chain of custody affidavit that read like a recipe for credibility. The judge didn't comment on the fridge. He appreciated the timestamps. We added a reimbursement schedule for non-family expenses tied to the affair. It wasn't moralism, it was ledger logic. Hotels disguised as vitamins, bar tabs disguised as trivia, eucalyptus disguised as a memoir. We itemized. We spared the mozzarella sticks. She signed a repayment plan so boring it could rock a baby to sleep. Autopay, first Friday. Paper cuts adding up to sanity. I locked the college fund inside a 529 with me as owner, my sister as contingent, and alerts tuned to overreact at $10. The court nodded. For the child, not a trophy. If anyone breathes on it, my phone screams. I sleep fine next to sirens I control. Smart home evidence got its own tab because chain of custody isn't a vibe. The fridge logs carried metadata, cloud stamps, device IDs. The ambient clip had a hash like a fingerprint and a transcript that didn't need adjectives. The lawyer smiled at the stack. This is modern. I said, Officer IceBox salutes. Public drama? No thanks. We sent one sentence to the people who matter. We're navigating a private family matter. We're keeping things stable for the kid. If anyone asked for details, I offered a PDF named Private. Nobody requested it twice. Lena tried PR with, we grew apart. I didn't counter-program, I calendared. She pinged, can we split therapy? Yes, child therapy 50-50, no haggling. She typed, thank you. Don't thank me, I thought. Thank our kid for existing. Adult therapy? Mandatory in the order until the therapist writes, we can hear each other without a lawyer interpreter. Paper kindness enforced. The bank became a sanctuary of autopilots. Bills named, accounts separated, joint card trimmed to essentials. I pointed everything expensive at me or at the trust. Receipts strolled into folders with names like oxygen, school, shoe. The house finally sounded like a house again, not a weather report. Mark sent weekly update emails like a probation officer was grading his paragraphs. Therapy booked, Thursdays canceled, HR notified, child support attached, lawyer retained, gym schedule changed to daylight. No emojis. I filed them under mirror, not enemy. Ellie replied once with a single green check. Brutal efficiency is a love language. The funniest thing happened at court number 2. The judge asked, any objection to admitting Exhibit K, the refrigerator logs? Lena's attorney paused like they'd just been asked to cross-examine a toaster. No objection, Your Honor. The clerk stamped Officer IceBox into the record. Somewhere, a stainless door preened. Serving day came and went without fireworks. The process server looked like she could carry a Buick in balanced budgets. Lena arrived with sunglasses and a tote bag full of excuses that never walked out. We can handle this privately, she tried. We tried privately, I said. We got Thursdays. She breathed in like she could inhale time. Papers served. Calm used like a scalpel. After, I bought a cheap lockbox and a fireproof bag and fed them every document that matters. Birth certificates, passports, test results, orders, the pen that signed the deed, the sticky note that says, love is the job. The box clunked shut like a period. I labeled it chair because it holds people up. My kid's teacher got a quiet heads up. Family shift, watch for fog. She smiled like a person who has seen everything and handed me a newsletter about a spring play. Tree number 4, my kid announced. Trees are dependable. I nodded like I was being assigned an oath. I kept adding tiny wins to a private list. Chain of custody verified, title transferred, calendar clean, support math humming, therapy scheduled, dog hair vacuumed, fridge list boring again, paper cuts, all of them, every slice making room for breath. And the revenge part? It never showed. Boring worked. The house laid down. The fridge went back to eggs and yogurt. The kids slept like a lighthouse. I sat with tea I actually drank and wrote one line to future me. You chose paper over gasoline, and the house didn't burn. Serving day, dumpster chic. Neutral lot behind a coffee shop where muffins go to die. My lawyer's server met me by the dumpsters, a woman built like a forklift with empathy. You good? She asked, handing me an envelope that looked heavier than paper. I'm calm, I said. Spend it wisely, she nodded, like calm was a currency. Lena pulled in 3 minutes late, sunglasses, tote, that crisis ponytail she wears when the truth is out of office. She clocked me, the server, the envelope, and went straight for stagecraft. Really? Here? The server didn't bother with theater. Are you Lena? Nod. You've been served. She held the envelope like it hissed. Before any judge signed off on custody, there was a hearing where the court made sure she understood exactly what she was waiving. The judge asked her 3 separate times if she grasped that declining shared custody meant less time and responsibility. She said yes, signed acknowledgement in open court, and the bailiff witnessed. Paper plus consent, not a vanishing act. Unbelievable, Lena said, voice low. We could have handled this privately. We tried privately, I said. We got Thursdays. The server folded her arms and turned into a lighthouse. Lena flicked the top page. Temporary custody, asset disclosures, no overnights with God. She didn't say his name like it might summon a gym membership. Read it, I said, then breathe. She tried bargaining on impulse. What if we wait a month for feelings? Feelings don't file orders, I said. Forms do. She tried blame. You blindsided me with that test. I scheduled it on the shared calendar, I said. Also, the fridge noticed first. She took the glasses off. Raw eyes. You don't have to punish me. I'm not, I said. I'm protecting the kid and the house in that order. The server glanced at her watch and gave me a tiny thumbs up. Bureaucracy as a love language. Lena's mouth bent toward an apology, then swerved. People will talk. Let them talk to the wall, I said. My statement is, we're handling a private family matter. That's the whole press release. She almost laughed. Almost. She reached for a softer door. Could we still do family dinners? For stability? Stability doesn't look like cosplay, I said. We keep the kids routine. We don't play house, she swallowed. What about Bean? Bean lives where the kid lives, I said. Officer IceBox concurred in chambers. The server smirked into her clipboard. Lena skimmed faster, eyes hardening at the prenup clause like it snuck up on her in line. So you get the house? I get the mortgage, I said. The roof, the lawn, the 2 a.m. beeping smoke detector. Paperwork didn't invent consequences. It just alphabetized them. She looked past me at the dumpsters, then back, small voice. I loved you. I believe you, I said. It doesn't change this. She nodded like her neck learned manners, slid the envelope into the tote, and finally exhaled. Calendar stays shared, I added. No erasing. No surprise guests. If you need anything over a threshold, text first. We make boring look heroic. She managed the first honest sentence of the month. Okay. The server tipped an invisible cap. Calm is louder than rage, she said. You did fine. Lena headed to her car like gravity increased. I stood there and let the lack of fireworks be the point. On the drive home, 2 neighbors power walked with eyebrows. I waved like a man with groceries and a nap pending. At the kitchen table, I dropped the serving receipt into the lockbox labeled chair, scratched Bean's head, and told the stainless door. Officer, the paper's landed. The fridge blinked our grocery list. Eggs, milk, strawberries, and, mercifully, nothing else. The therapist's script and first park hang. The beige room looked like it had been designed by a nap. Low lamp, box of tissues shaped like a pyramid, chairs that say, we're not taking sides. The therapist had a steady voice and shoes you can pace in. She laid the script out like a recipe card. Simple, concrete, no blame. Practice after me. Families are built lots of ways. Love is the job. Biology is information. You are safe. We said each line, flat at first, then with breath. She made us swap out every big word for a small one that could fit in a small mouth. No affair, no betrayal. Adults made mistakes, became the fence around things we weren't handing to a child. I practiced my part like I was prepping for a school assembly. I'm your dad in every way that counts. That never changes. She watched our mouths like she was tuning an instrument. Slow your vowels, she said to me, smiling. If your voice shakes, the words don't. She turned to Lena. Don't fix, don't add, just agree. She nodded, eyes bright, throat working. We set up the room like stagehands. Kid in the middle, me on the left, Lena on the right, therapist within the perimeter like a quiet bouncer. Bean wasn't allowed, which felt discriminatory against excellent listeners, but fine. Our kid came in with the bounce of someone who trusts furniture. We started soft. You know how Bean is a mix? They grinned. Mostly sock, I said. People can be like that too. Lots of parts. Today we learned some new information about our family. I kept my eyes on their face, not on the floor I wanted to fall through. The therapist nodded me forward. I'm your dad in every way that counts. That never changes. I'm still pancakes, rides, and the worst jokes in the county. They gave me the tiny eyebrow. Objectively the worst. Good. Air. Lena took her line, voice smaller than I've heard it. We learned that someone else helped make you with biology. That's information. It doesn't change who tucks you in. Our kid looked at me first. I smiled like my face was built for it. The therapist added, "You're safe. You are very loved. You don't have to carry any grown-up stuff." They thought, then asked, "So is this like 2 Father's Day cards?" The therapist smiled. "It's more people cheering for you," I added, "and more victims for your school play." A snort. Victims? Volunteers, I corrected. We let that tiny joke hold the weight for a second. They tested the edges with practical questions. Do we still do pancakes? Saturday, yes. Do I still go to the park with you? Always. Does Bean still sleep like a seatbelt? Unfortunately, yes. The therapist gently closed the circle. If you ever have questions, you ask. That's the rule. They nodded, newly serious. Okay, can we get fries? Permission granted by every adult in the Department of Healing. We scheduled the first hang with Mark like it was a dentist appointment for Hope. Short, public. Therapist approved. First names only, no labels. Park, Sunday, early, before the fields fill with birthday banners and emotional landmines. Sun, swings, the squeak of chains. We arrived first. Bean stayed home on probation because mud. Mark showed up looking like a person who'd worn his best humble. He sat on the bench, edged the way people do when they want to appear smaller. Ellie stood a polite distance back, hurricane contained in a blazer. I handled the open like a stage manager. 25 minutes. First names. Kid sets the pace. He nodded like a metronome. Our kid approached with the curiosity of a scientist. Hi. Hi, he said, voice wobbling into steady. They pointed at the field. Do you like dinosaurs? Ankylosaurus, he said, too fast, then laughed at himself. Tank with a tail. Acceptable answer. They tried him on math. Are you good at times tables? He said. I'm learning to be. I cut in gently. Same. We kept it light and unsticky, kicking a soccer ball badly, complimenting shoes, joking about fries like we were referencing a law. When he almost drifted toward the heavy, I steered with a sentence we rehearsed. We're doing information in small pieces. He nodded, swallowed the extra words. 20 minutes in, our kid checked my face, then the sun, then the bench. I'm done. Perfect. I smiled at Mark. Next time is a maybe, not a promise. He nodded like gratitude shouldn't make noise. Ellie gave me the smallest salute a person can give without moving her arm. We left in a line that didn't need to prove anything. In the car, our kid evaluated like a judge on a cooking show. He's fine. I said, you get to decide the pace. They nodded then. Fries? We honored the ritual. One disappeared to Bean later. Justice was served. That night, the house felt like it had made room without breaking a wall. I wrote one line in the notebook. We said the truth in small words, and it fit. Then I washed the park dust off my shoes, checked the shared calendar, and patted the fridge. Officer, stand down. It hummed like it was already bored of the drama. Good. Settlement. Order beats drama. Settlement happened on a Tuesday that smelled like envelopes. No fireworks, no speeches, just a hallway where carpet eats footsteps, and a clerk who stamps like a heartbeat. The deed slid across the table, my name where hers used to live, the prenup clause doing quiet CPR. The title officer explained nothing because the paper already had. I signed. She signed. The notary capped her pen and said, "Congratulations on paperwork." I said, "Best kind," and meant it. The house didn't cheer. It just breathed easier. Mortgage auto pay stayed mine, which felt accurate. So did the smoke detector that beeps only at 2 a.m. The judge called the next matter before our chairs cooled. Order beats drama because order doesn't ask for applause. We walked custody the same way. Slow, neutral, precise. The plan read like a calendar with manners. Primary with me, generous time with her, guardrails around overnights and introductions, school handoffs marked down to the minute. The court cared about the kids' mornings. So did I. The judge glanced at our therapist letter, language, script, progress, and nodded. Good, he said. That's all you want from a bench. One syllable and a stamp. Money math was. Spreadsheet polite. Child support in a number that doesn't blink. Direct deposit on Fridays. Mark's contribution attached through his HR like an apology with routing numbers. He didn't posture. He filled a form. Ellie signed the garnishment acknowledgement without sighing. The adults were finally acting like adults, supervised by staplers. Misused funds went on autopay, itemized, boring. Hotels disguised as vitamins, bar tabs disguised as trivia, eucalyptus disguised as self-care, line items that now apologized on the first of every month. Not vengeance, maintenance. We left mozzarella sticks off the ledger on purpose. Mercy belongs somewhere, even if it's on a receipt. The college fund came out of its hiding hole and into a 529 with me at the wheel and my sister as the "what if he gets hit by a bus" adult. Alerts set to overreact. The order called it "for the child's benefit," which sounds like a platitude until you hold the printout and realize it's a castle wall. The judge asked about electronic evidence like he'd been waiting all week to say it out loud. Exhibit K, the refrigerator logs? Any objection? Lena's lawyer swallowed a grin and said no. The clerk stamped Officer IceBox into the record. Somewhere in Appliance's heaven, a stainless panel got a tiny halo. We submitted the chain of custody affidavit my lawyer loved so much she wanted to frame it. Device IDs, cloud stamps, hash values, all the little sigils that keep truth from leaking. The ambient clip lay there like a calm grenade. Nobody pulled the pin. We didn't need to. It had already done its work. After the gavel's polite click, we stood in the echo of a story that refused to turn into a spectacle. Outside, courthouse pigeons argued like cable news. Inside me, a list flipped pages. Title, done. Custody, done. Support, hum. Reimbursement, on rails. Therapy, continuous. Calendar, clean. The house, quiet. The fridge, back to eggs. We built the co-parenting plan like a menu you laminate. Entrees, school, healthcare, holidays. Sides, bedtime rules, screen time, travel. Dessert, special events. Maybe someday joint clapping at a school play where our kid is tree number 4. Color coding that would make a kindergarten teacher weep. Red is ask first. Green is go. Yellow is coordinate. Beige is stop emailing. It's fine. We stapled a clause that should be standard. No social media about the journey. If you have to process, you pay a therapist, not a follower count. One sentence for the group text we could not avoid. We're fine. The kid's fine. Please bring snacks, not opinions. At home, I changed one lock because ritual matters. I hung a small sign above the desk that only I will laugh at. No vibes, only receipts. Bean inspected every room as if the deed had a scent. The fridge blinked our grocery list. Eggs, milk, blueberries. No call Dan. Peace. I emailed the kid's teacher a thank you for pretending paperwork is weather and not a soap opera. She wrote back, tree rehearsal Thursday. Send water. Order is mostly water bottles and alarms. Lena texted later, signed the final set. I replied, received. We keep our language clean. She added, thank you for not torching it. I typed, then deleted, then sent. Paper did the work. She hearted it, because even in endings, everybody needs to touch something light. Mark's weekly update came like clockwork. Therapy done. Support sent. Thursdays permanently dull. No emojis, no paragraphs, just the bullet points of someone who understands parole. Ellie sent a single period after his message, which in her dialect means continue. That evening, I made breakfast for dinner because stability wears syrup well. Our kid asked if trees get bows. Trees get applause, I said. Bows are for people who didn't trip. They grinned. Bean stole a corner of toast and looked repentant in absolutely no way. Before bed, I opened the lockbox and laid the final decree on top like a blanket. Birth certificates, passports, test results, the prenup clause that brought the roof home, and a sticky note that reads, love is the job. Paper keeps the lights on. I closed it and listened to the click. It sounded like a house exhaling. No victory lap, just lists that refill and a calendar that tells the truth. I patted the stainless door on my way to tuck in. Stand down, officer, I said. It hummed like a civilian, rebuilding the new normal. Routines saved us the way seatbelts do. You forget they're there until the skid. Mornings turned into tiny rituals with a pulse. Shoes by the door, lunch notes that said you're my favorite scientist, Bean auditing crumbs like a union rep. We walk 10 minutes before school, rain or sun, and narrate the neighborhood like a nature show. That mailbox looks suspicious. Agreed. Bean files a report by peeing on air. At breakfast, the jokes are terrible by design. Why did the tomato blush? Because it saw the salad dressing. Boo. What do you call cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese? Groans are the victory sound. Then, backpacks, water bottle check, a quick forehead scan. I'm the same annoying dad. just with better calendars. Afternoons, I block 30 minutes for kid noise. No chores, no emails, just Lego catastrophes and spelling words said like incantations. If my phone twitches, it loses. Bean supervises from the rug, legally useless and emotionally crucial. We cook simple. Carrots with safe knives, eggs that tolerate opinions. I play music low. The house does not need volume from anywhere else. When life can be quiet, you make it quiet. Tuesdays, my sister drops by with lasagna and no commentary. She plays cards, trims silence, and leaves a grocery list that says real coffee and treat yourself fruit. Neighbors invite us to backyard s'mores and offer chairs instead of microphones. Chairs beat microphones. That's the whole TED Talk. Grief gets a timer. 20 minutes after bedtime, I sit with the ache and let it stretch its legs. When the phone buzzes, I write one sentence and stop. Today, we laughed at the nacho line. Today, the volcano foam stayed in the sink. Evidence that we're living, not just patching leaks. The notebook holds what the fridge doesn't need to. School is gloriously normal. I told the teacher, family shift, watch for fog, and she nodded like an old lighthouse. Our kid auditioned for tree number 4 in the spring play and came home practicing stillness like a monk. Trees get applause, I said. Boughs are for people who didn't trip. They said they might add a leaf. Okay, Picasso, therapy is our oil change. We go, we breathe, we learn phrases that fit in small mouths. Love is the job is now muscle memory. Biology is information is a sticky note we don't have to read out loud anymore. The therapist assigns invisible belts for telling the truth. We collect them like polite raccoons. Co-parenting turned into a menu. Entrees, sides, desserts, nothing spicy. The shared calendar hums in good colors. Red means ask, green means go, yellow means coordinate, or the universe laughs. Lena sticks to the lanes. Mark emails weekly updates that read like weather, light, factual, boring. Ellie sends a single period that says continue. We're an orchestra of adults who learn to count. Money became quiet. Auto pays hum. Child support lands. College fund has a moat. The house discovers it can settle without supervision. Officer IceBox retired to eggs, milk, strawberries, and a note that says we're out of blueberries because someone is a thief. Bean blinks without remorse. Guilty. On Saturdays, pancakes expand to fill the space you give them. I flip. They sprinkle. Bean inserts a paw into the union vote. We go to the park and practice ankle-level soccer. First names only, short hangs, no titles. Our kid sets the metronome. Sometimes yes, sometimes not today. Either answer wins. Nights end with 2 pages and a whisper. You are loved, safe, and annoying in a charming way. They whisper back, you're loud, safe, and bad at jokes. Deal. The dishwasher hums. The smoke detector does not beep at 2 a.m., which I count as proof of a just universe. New normal isn't shiny. It's clocks that work, lists that don't lie, and a fridge that minds its business. It's me choosing boring like armor and watching it hold. It's a kid asleep behind a door we keep quiet on purpose. It's a dog who snores like punctuation across 2 small feet. It is finally a home that doesn't rehearse disaster. It just breathes. Breakfast, sunlight on the table, my kid reading the joke off the syrup bottle while Bean guards crumbs, and I tap the fridge door and say, good game, partner. If the receipts live anywhere, let them live cold and honest. If this story kept you steady, hit subscribe and stick around. The next one starts with a girls' trip receipt that stops a rehearsal dinner in 45 seconds.